trying to reply to everyone promptly, and that is a struggle. I saw Godfrey, I hate him.
I'm giving up eating out completely, so every meal that I have has to be home cooked.
I'm adding a daily rosary, a daily Divine Mercy Chaplet. I'm cutting down to 2 meals per day.
Then I'm also giving up red meat because I eat it a lot and it's not healthy. And then I'm also telling myself to exercise like every day.
Just tell myself to like pray once in the morning and once in the evening to make like a routine, because that'll be easier. Also make sure like make a note on my phone and make us a screensaver so I know.
So for this Lenten journey, I chose to like give up social media.
I have this year given up ice cream, which is really hard for me, because at the end of the day, after a long day of work, when I get back home, like I really want that dish of ice cream before I go to bed, and I'm not doing that.
I've gotten together with my girlfriend and we decided to give up sweets, and that has been going terribly. Only God himself can resist sweets.
I gave up being hard on myself.
I decided with a few other girls to do like a version of like the Fiat 90, but we called it Fiat 40. It's a very modified version, so we like looked at what Fiat 90 was and like all that it asked, and then we prayed about it and really like honed in on like what we felt called to do.
I'm using part of the stipend the brothers received to help a scholarship fund for inner city kids in the Bronx, New York.
I decided to cut out any negative attitudes I may have like during the day.
Okay, so originally I was supposed to write a letter to a person every day, but that didn't happen. And so like so a week in, I was talking to some people and I was like, I should like probably give up something because this Lent is just not going to be productive if I don't. So I ended up giving up coffee.
I'm working actively with our music director, Benjamin Cox, on liturgical chants.
I'm participating in Exodus 90.
I gave up my bed.
Probably this one. It's the first one that I actually actively do something.
And like when Easter came, it was like, oh shoot, like my friend's dying on a cross. Like it was, like I was always like sad before, right? But this time, like because I had like gone to adoration every day and like grown closer and like walked the journey per se, and Easter, or Good Friday, not Easter, Good Friday was here, and I was just like, whoa, I don't want that to happen. Like, why are you killing him? Like, stop, 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 stop. It was a much more like emotional response than I had ever experienced before.
So really, this is my first true Lent. Mm-hmm. So I guess I'll actually be making memories this Lent.
Oh, last Lent, I gave up Tinder. I gave up Tinder, so I was like, I need to put this lifestyle behind me because it was plaguing a lot of the different aspects of my life.
So I can say that this is my like most memorable Lenten journey because it's like my choice, you know, to be with God and to grow in Him.
It's got to be this one because I've grown so much in my faith last semester, especially coming to UCC and meeting all you beautiful people.
My freshman year, because I gave up shoes for Lent, and I got a lot of interesting looks, and my feet were very sore for every day.
Yeah, last year I did no snacking as well, and I really feel like this Lent I'm doing it again. It's like season 2.
2 Lents ago, it was the first time I gave up meat for Lent, and then now I just don't eat meat at all. So it was like kind of a beginning of like a growth for me.
I think honestly, the most impactful Lent experience has to be this one. Like not only did I give up time, but I'm also putting in time.
I haven't had that many Lents because I converted like 3 years ago. Last couple years I've been like doing a lot of like stuff for myself and trying to improve myself rather than like depending on God. So this one is definitely different.
You pretty much just had to give up something.
Growing up, I just always saw it as a time to give up things.
I thought Lent was just giving up stuff.
It was a time when my parents wouldn't let me eat candy.
just giving up something I liked, like sweets and soda, and it was just those two.
Just giving something up.
Not getting to eat candy.
As a child, I thought it was just like a Jesus simulation, if that makes sense. Like the 40 days, I'm like, oh, we're gonna pretend to be Jesus for 40 days, you know, and we're gonna be like, oh, so this is what it's like to be Jesus. Okay, I have to give up something because he gave up something, and it was just like a way to connect, and I said that a really weird way.
Jesus gave a bunch of grape juice and unleavened bread to his friends, and then a few days later he peaced out and showed back up 3 days later.
So it seemed like something that made me Catholic and connected me with all the people in my family and school, but it was certainly not something I looked forward to.
I mean, when growing up, I'd like give up video games, and then that Lent I'd watch a lot of TV.
Not having meats on Fridays.
No meat.
When you think about it, especially as a child, you're like, oh, I have to give something up. So it's like, oh, this is a sad time.
What Lent is that it's a time of detachment.
Lent is about Jesus, and it's about his journey.
To me, Lent is just, like I said before, it is a season of like growing and kind of like sacrificing a little bit for God.
I think it's about walking with Jesus as he walks through the desert.
Humility, communion, and love.
Well, I think that Lent is our preparation for Easter, but the three pillars that the church sets up for that are prayer and fasting and almsgiving.
It's about preparation. It's about denying yourself.
Strengthening your relationship with God.
And try to give up something of ourselves because what we're giving up is not as much, well, not nearly as much as how much he's given up for us.
So I still don't eat sweets during Lent because I haven't grown up. And now that I'm growing older, it's kind of like a tradition for me to read the book. It's called The Dolores Passion by Anne Catherine Ermerich, so look it up, buy it on Amazon.
I think that for our Lenten sacrifice, it's not just giving up something you love just to do it, but as a way to let go of worldly things and like seek fulfillment in God, who is like our true happiness.
I see Lent as a time to prepare myself for the resurrection.
Jesus is about to give his life for us, and it's only if we're in the proper mindset and with pure and clean hearts that we can prepare that the most ultimate, greatest sacrifice to ever happen on this earth.
It's a time to draw closer with the Lord through leaving some things behind, taking on new things and recommitting ourselves.
You're a good kid. Just remember that. Just keep chugging on, Kristen.
You did great.
Mark, regardless of where you're at right now in life, what spiritual, even just like as a student UT, remember that you are a beloved son of God, made his image and likeness. That is your deepest identity, and don't let anything ever change that.
Can you try to give up something by yourself instead of taking the diet of what your relatives give you because you eat with them?
You're about to endure the greatest trial that you have experienced, and it's gonna hurt, and you're not gonna know why this is happening, and you're gonna ask God why it's happening. But just remember that every bit of suffering that we experience on earth is a taste of what Jesus experienced when he was here on earth. So he walks with us through our suffering.
That big heartbreak you just had, not all guys are idiots. And especially the guy who's not an idiot, you're about to get really close to for the next 40 days.
The church is not your enemy. Institutions will not always stifle you.
Just enjoy people's presence.
When life gets harder, you can always pick yourself up.
Like coming to college, I was very close to not coming back to church. So I guess, or just thank you for not giving up. because she stayed and it was worth it.
Keep trusting in the Lord and everything will work out how it should be.
To trust God and trust your gut, and better things are to come. God always answers prayers. His timing is literally so perfect.
I guess don't give up, even when things get hard and you start to feel like your faith is lagging. Keep pushing through, keep reaching out to God and taking the steps in the right direction.
I would tell her, really take this time serious, because when you're in ministry, it's harder to do that.
My advice to my Lent last year would be to don't worry what people think.
Pray persistently and pray. Pray with faith that God is there. Because, Luke, you were trying to do a lot of stuff on your own and trying to have a lot of answers, but missing the most important thing.
I hope he's enjoying his money. Because he hasn't. I'm sorry, this is all I can concentrate on. This is like my main focus in school right now.
Keep growing, Gabby. Whether that's like spiritually or whether that's like your character, all of that for the glory of God. Like, keep growing. And I feel like it's like little tiny steps, but you know, like in the long run, like in your life journey, it's always moving forward. So yeah, just keep growing.
Every year I've gotten more like other people oriented and less about me. It's like just keep on that trend and be more people oriented and focus on helping others before yourself.
Continue to be a better person than you were yesterday.
Hopefully I'm still in a community that allows me to love God, like what Campus Base does for me.
You're doing great. You're killing it.
So use your doubts and your failures as an open book of advice and help for other people.
I would say prepare, discern, and really, every Lenten season is a way for us to challenge ourselves and continue to challenge yourself, but prepare beforehand.
You're gonna be okay, and you're gonna graduate, and whatever God has planned for you post-grad, it's gonna lead you to exactly where you will be and where God wants you to be, and that's the best place you can be.
How was Wisconsin?
I hope you worked hard in school. Didn't slack off too much. I don't know. I don't think I have that answer yet. I think I need to fully rediscover what Lent is, which I hopefully I do.
So I just decided that I'm going to be a focus missionary. I still hope I have like a greater understanding of the suffering that Jesus encountered. I hope to like experience those things in Lent, those struggles, and kind of examine the past year.
Heavenly Father, allow my heart to be softened and to choose love. I ask that my heart is to remind me that I allow your eyes to trust that even from to also trust in as long as I sit with me at this present time, me that I don't always know what is best, and to trust in you always been the goodness that you are. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I stand before you now in the midst of this storm. I do not ask you to quell its violence, because I know that you are calling me across the raging waters to come to you. So I simply ask that you give me the faith to take a step. I realize your plan is much greater than mine, much more beautiful than I could ever fathom, and it will continue to be beautiful and perfect, even if I may not recognize it. Just as a sunset is beautiful, even if I may be stuffed away in a room with no windows to witness it. Its beauty is in its existence, not the acknowledgement. Allow me to emulate your love, to be but a link in a chain to connect others to you. Allow me to trust in you, wherever I may be, whatever I may become. Remind me my ultimate identity is a daughter of the light. Teach me how to accept your graces and your love. Allow me to recognize that you are pursuing me in the greatest love story, that you have a plan for my welfare and for a future of hope. I ask that you allow my body to relax in your presence. Allow my limbs to unfurl from a question mark and instead to stand tall as an exclamation point, that I may be able to proclaim your word and trust in your truth. Make my heart ready to receive you and your people. Allow me to be a home for wayward souls who are on their way towards you. Remind me of a mother's love that is pure and gentle. Remind me that I must give my continual yes to you just as she did. Teach me to let myself have her lead me to you. I ask that I may be with you, even in the Garden of Gethsemane, even on the way to Calvary, even on the cross. Because I know that even in those hard times, I am with you, and you are with me. It is only with you that I am fulfilled, because you remain faithful to me. I know now that although I am a sinner, I know that I have a Savior. Allow my heart to soften. Allow my faith to strengthen. Let your will be done. Amen.